In this video, we're going to talk about how to make the most of your PT degree so you can make a return on investment from school and also have a fulfilling career. So this video is for pre-PT students, PTs, wherever you're at in your journey. Pre-PTs wondering if you should choose this path as a career, students wondering if the investment in school will be worth it, and PTs wondering if there's a different path than the one you're currently on. So why watch this video? Burnout is high in the profession right now due to the debt to income ratio and reimbursement rates. And my biggest goal with this video is to inform you and empower you of all the different options that you have to make the most of the degree and help you find a path that will align best with you. Not everyone is meant to be a business owner and not everyone wants to be an employee. So my job with this video is to just lay out all of the options and give the pros and cons to each of them. So this is going to be a choose your own adventure. You can work as an employee, build a personal brand, or be a business owner. It's about choosing the path that aligns best with you. I want you guys to think of me as a tour guide taking you along these different paths, showing you kind of what you're getting into with each path, with the positives and negatives. So the first path you could take is being an employee. This is just working for someone else. And I feel like this trail kind of shows the pros of it. It is the most stable. It's a clear path. You know the steps ahead of you. It's the lowest risk. So with that, your hours are set. You don't have to worry about getting clients. The clients are already there. You just have to worry about being a PT. On the other side of it, the cons are it has the lowest return on investment. So think risk being related to ROI. So since it's the lowest risk, it's also going to have the lowest return. And you're also going to be limited by time. So the number of hours you work, you can always work more hours, but at a certain point, you're going to run out of hours during the week. Some ways to maximize this path as a pre-PT before you even start school is to choose a lower cost school. If you have the option between a very high cost program and a lower cost program, taking that into account when you're choosing the schools, scholarships. So you take out less loans from the scholarship money that you get, generating an income via a job, business, or personal brand, and also creating a budget. So all of these are ways to put yourself in a good financial position before you even start PT school. As a student, keeping the end goal in mind that you do want to maintain good academic standing while also putting yourself in a better financial position. So I like to tell students to think of this as a balancing act. You want to make sure you have a good foundation with school first, so you are able to finish the program and get the degree. The last thing you want to do is put too much on your plate too soon and then have to start over and take out more loans or maybe not even get the degree at all. So I really encourage students to have it be in a good position with school, and then they can add work as they go. So ways to maximize this path is working as possible and also budgeting well in school. Some ways, so as a PT, keeping the end goal in mind that you want to have a fulfilling career and feel like your investment in school was worth it. Ways to maximize the PT degree as an employee are to choose a higher paying setting, so home health and travel, pay the highest across the board. I know that's not possible for everyone, so other options are negotiating salary. This goes into the next point that if you are able to learn a skill and prove that you are able to bring in more clients and generate more revenue for the clinic, that gives you some negotiating power to ask for a raise or ask for a higher salary because you are bringing the clinic money. So you can ask for a portion of that. That's a great way to negotiate your salary in a way with objectively and is beneficial to the clinic as well. So this can be through a marketing technique, learning a different language and being able to bring in a new clientele, also learning a specialty. So all of these are ways that you can prove that you can bring in more money for the clinic and also generate more revenue. Taking on the clinic director role. So this involves more marketing, more parts of the business. So you are taking on more responsibilities. So as a result, you are getting compensated more. Another option is working more as a clinician. So adding PRN, which basically just means per diem, you're taking on more hours of the week, working in a non-clinical position. There are some Facebook groups for this, but you don't have to limit yourself just to being a PT. There are other roles as well, like medical sales, EMR stuff. You don't have to limit yourself just to being a PT. And public student loan forgiveness. This is when you work for a company for a certain number of years, and then after that period, your loans are forgiven. So this is a great option for maybe you know for a fact you don't want to have a business or personal brand. This is just an option for you as well if you just want to get rid of the loans and not have to worry about them after a certain period of time. So the second path you can take is building a personal brand. This is also known as affiliate marketing or being an influencer. This is when you're using your platform to promote someone else's product or service. So some examples are TikTok Shop, Amazon Storefront, having a discount code. So this is when you just promote your code. With the code, you get like 15% off. And then also brand deals if you have a bigger audience. So the two paths you can take with a personal brand are to use that personal brand to build your own to build a practice in the future. The second path is to build a personal brand with the end goal being that you want to be an influencer or affiliate, so staying in the online space. I don't have a lot of experience with these two paths, so we're going to look at two people who have done this really well and have a lot to we can learn a lot from. So if you are someone that is interested in having your own practice when you get out of school, a great example we can look at is Odell Miller. He was able to build a personal brand while in school. He documented his journey, and that's a great lesson that he teaches to make this as sustainable as possible as a student. With the limited time that you have in school, it's a lot easier to tell yourself that you're just going to document your journey. Maybe it's a video of you studying. I remember when he was posting videos of him studying for his boards exam, keeping it as low maintenance as possible. Instead of saying you're going to create 5 pieces of content. I remember when I was a student, the last thing I wanted was to add more to my to-do list. So this makes it a lot more sustainable. Just taking the people wherever you're at, whether you're studying, whether you're building a future practice like he was, taking them along your journey makes it a lot more sustainable as a student and makes it a lot more enjoyable than just seeing it as something else on your to-do list. So what Odell did really well was build a platform in school, and that allowed him to attract future clients. So he now has all this social proof on his social media. He's very well known in the community. So now he is able to bring in more people to the clinic, which brings the next point of attention being is your greatest asset. Marketing is a numbers game. So the more people that know about you, the more people you can help. So he was able to develop that skill as a student, and that has helped him be very successful graduating right outside of school. This building the personal brand in school will also help you to build the skills of business, of marketing, talking to people, learning how to connect with people. So it's a great skill. This is a great path to take if you want to have your own practice in the future. And he shows that you can do this right out of school. You don't have to wait. You don't have to wait for anyone's permission. You can do it right away and be very successful with it. So maybe you don't want to have your own business, but you still want to be in the online space. Being an affiliate or taking the influencer route is another option. Affiliate marketing can sometimes be coined as an MLM. And really the biggest difference with that is MLM is just reinforcing that pyramid. You're just recruiting more people. Whereas affiliate marketing is when you're using your own platform to promote a product or service and you get a piece of that commission. So I just wanted to clarify what an affiliate was. Some examples of this are brand deals, affiliates, so that discount code, or physical products, so think like an Amazon storefront. And someone that does this exceptionally well is Jun Yu. He was able to build his platform to 5 million followers on Instagram and then 8 million followers across all social media platforms. And he's a great example of sticking what it actually takes to be an influencer, you could say. He was posting content every day for 5 years. So that ability to stick with it for a long period of time is really what is going to make you successful in this space. And like we talked about before, documenting your journey, making this as low maintenance as possible, and just the ability to stick with it is going to put you in a great position to be successful with this path. The last path you can take is being a business owner. This is when you are working for yourself. So some of the positives are it's going to be the highest return on investment, and it's also going to have time and money freedom, but knowing this won't come right away. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But I think this path really is a good picture for the negatives because it will all fall on you. Like this forest here, problems that you didn't even anticipate can come out and attack you. So there are a lot more risks with being a business owner, and it's also the least stable. You can see the path it's not a clear path. There are a lot of unknowns. So that's just a realistic view into what it looks like to be a business owner. So when I was a student, I really just thought it was the brick and mortar practice, but learning from others, I realized there were a lot of other options. So you can have your own physical practice, have a mobile practice, be an entrepreneur, or have an online business. So the brick and mortar practice, this is what a lot of people think of. It's just a physical location that delivers services. Some of the positives are it allows you to set your own rate and charge your own worth. So something they don't tell you in school, but like I've heard and learned from others, is that you can be the best PT, but you won't be compensated for it. Really, the only way you'll make more as an employee is bringing in more clients or proving that you can generate more income for the clinic. But working for yourself in a brick and mortar practice, if you are the best PT and you can get results for people unlike anyone else in town, you can charge according to that. So that gives you a lot more flexibility and freedom to be able to charge your own worth and know that your investment in school, that you are the best and you're getting compensated according to that. Some of the cons are it's going to be money and time investment upfront. So the net, like a lot of I don't know, I thought that it was just great at the beginning, but in reality, from what I've heard from others, you are going to spend a lot of time in the beginning, you're wearing all the hats of the business. Maybe you're working 80 to 100 hours a week, but as the clinic grows and as you generate more revenue, you're going to be able to hire people, delegate tasks, but at the beginning, it's all you. So it's going to be a lot of work at the beginning, but it has the potential to give you a lot more time and money freedom down the road. So a mobile practice is when the PT services are going to the patient's location, typically in their home. Positives of this are there going to be less overhead costs since you're going to the person's home, you're not in the clinic. Cons are it's going to be more difficult to scale. So, scale being like hiring people, delegating tasks. So, some people will build a mobile practice before they start their brick and mortar just to get their feet wet, just to get going. But that's not a prerequisite by any means. I also know people that are very successful in the mobile practice space. So this is just another option. The next option is being an intrapreneur. This is when you are working for another business owner. So the positives of this are it's less risk than a business owner. It's also a great way to learn the ins and outs of business. So when you're in this space, you are learning, doing some marketing, maybe you're doing fulfillment. So you're learning all the skills of being a business owner. You're also kind of in that in between being an employee and a business owner because you can take on more than one client and kind of make a business out of it. But it's also just a great way of seeing if you even want to be in business. You're kind of right between an employee and a business owner. The cons are it's going to be less return on investment than a business owner because it is less risk on you since you are technically working for someone else. So this is just a little bit about what being an entrepreneur is. The last option is going to be having an online business. So exactly as it says, delivering the product or service online. Of any of the options we talked about today, this is going to have the most freedom because you're not limited to time or space. So say someone on the other side of the world can buy your product at 3 o'clock in the morning. It really does have the most freedom of any of these options. Some of the cons are it's going to require a high level of accountability and discipline. Unlike a brick and mortar practice, you have to get clients or the business won't work. Whereas in the online space, especially if you're working full time or even part time, you aren't required to work on your online business like you are with a brick and mortar practice. So this really requires a high level of accountability and discipline to make it work. Some ending thoughts. I know that we talked about quite a few options today. You might be wondering which one you're going to choose. When I was early on, the question that I asked that really helped me make a decision to choose a path was, do I value stability or freedom? And which one do you value the most? So if you value stability, people tend to gravitate towards the employee route. If you value freedom, more people tend to gravitate towards the business owner. Also, that kind of goes into the next point, the building the personal brand. You can do multiple things. So when I was starting out in school, I just thought I had to be an employee or a business owner, but in reality, you can do multiple things. You can have a second stream of income and be a PRN physical therapist. Maybe that doesn't happen right away, but as you build that online business or whatever you're doing, you can do PRN physical therapy. And that might actually create a really healthy balance between being a physical therapist, but also doing something else. I know that option isn't for everyone. Not everyone wants to do that, but that's just something that I've observed through my experience and is something that might actually create that work-life balance that you're looking for. So ending thoughts too. I know the debt to income ratio is a problem. I don't want to downplay that by any means, but I do hope this video gave people some solutions, some ideas at least, with which paths they can take and just overall awareness of what's really going on and what you can do about it. The profession is what you've make it. So I've met people that have been in the profession for quite some time and they still love their career and just the opposite. So there are ways to make the most of the degree and there are still people that love the profession, love what they're doing. So it is possible. And also, this is more for if you're a pre-PT or not in school yet, but knowing that other healthcare professions have a higher return on investment, I believe nurse practitioner and physician assistants have a higher return on investment. So if you are deciding which career you want to go on, just being honest with yourself, about doing what is going to be most fulfilling for you. And if you are truly looking for that higher return on investment and you aren't interested in like the other options we talked about, just being honest with yourself and choosing a path that's going to be most fulfilling for you. The last point I want to leave you with is just staying informed and having a plan. It's never too late to start thinking about your financial future and start taking steps. So, like we saw with Odell Miller and other people, that you can start in school, you can do things that will put you in a better position when you graduate or even before you start school. So, you do have options if that's something that is appealing to you. So, I hope this video is helpful. If you found what we talked about today to be helpful, please share with a friend. Please subscribe to the channel so more people can hear about this. And thank you so much for watching.